After I have the proper information into the balancer, I'm ready to spin the wheel and tire assembly. I depress the red button on the side, lift up on the black lever, and I wait for the LEDs to go out on the face of the machine. When the LEDs go out, this bottom red LED will flash, telling me that it's finding the heavy spot in the rim and tire assembly. The display will indicate where the weight needs to be added and how much needs to be added. To stop the wheel and tire assembly, push down on the black lever. Never grab the wheel and tire assembly. If I stop the machine too soon, it'll throw an error code. In order to clear the error code, remember, shut the machine off and turn it back on. After the wheel and tire assembly has been stopped, the gauge indicates how much weight I need to add. By rotating the tire assembly around, the LEDs will move until all 5 are lit up. When all 5 LEDs are lit up, at the 12 o'clock position from the spindle, this is where the weight needs to be added. On the top of the machine is where the wheel weights are located. We have several clip-on wheel weights, saddle wheel weights, stick-on wheel weights, and spoke wheel weights. Depending on the rim, you need a different wheel weight. The indicator here indicates that I need a ½ ounce of wheel weight. Looking at the stick-on wheel weights, each quarter segment of the wheel weight is 25 or 1/4 ounce. Each full segment is a ½ ounce. 2 segments is a full ounce. When balancing a tire, you never want to exceed 3 ounces of wheel weight that you need to add to the tire. If that happens, what you may have to do is take your balance stop and rotate it 180 degrees away from the valve stem. On the rim, if we're going to use a stick-on wheel weight, the wheel weight needs to be placed closest to the center of the rim. If I'm using a clip-on wheel weight, the clip-on wheel weight will go over that center ridge and be pressed down. After the proper weight's been installed on the rim and tire assembly, always double check to make sure that it balances out. Never assume or take for granted that was the correct wheel weight.
Yeah, he took off. He took off.
After doing your check spin, you'll notice that my indicator will read 0. But if I move the tire, my LEDs will light up. I can use the less than button to see how close I balance this wheel and tire assembly. By pressing it, I'll find out down to 1/10 ounce how fine we balance this rim and tire. After you make sure the rim and tire assembly is properly balanced and you remove it, make sure that you take all your collets, your spacers that you used, and put them back in the proper locations on the front of the machine. You also want to make sure that when you remove the wheel and tire assembly, or even when you install it, that you put no weight on the spindle assembly other than the rim and tire itself. By leaning on the spindle, you'll actually bend it. After you remove the wheel and tire assembly, sometimes one of the collets may stay on the spindle. Always double check to make sure that you remove the collets and put them back in their locations. Also, make sure you remove the collets from inside the wheel. Sometimes the seal will hold the collet in place. After properly balancing your wheel and tire assembly, you're ready to reinstall it back on the bike. Don't forget to reinstall your final drive assembly and your wheel spacers. Sometimes what can help is using window cleaner on your rubber dampers when installing your rear sprocket assembly.